For years ago, everything I thought I knew about my family shattered. My dad, my hero, found out that my mom had been having affairs, not just one, but multiple. I'd always known about a few of them, but he forgave her, kept the family together for us, his kids. But this time, it was different. This time, the affair wasn't just some past mistake. It was about us. Me and my two siblings, were we even his kids? My world came crashing down when the DNA results showed that, while my siblings were his, I wasn't. Not his son. The truth hit like a freight train. Dad didn't take it well. He packed up, left my mom, filed for divorce, and took my siblings with him. And there I was, left behind, alone with a mother who had just hit rock bottom. Her secrets, her betrayal, it all came spilling out. We were both outcasts now, unwanted by the family, shut out by everyone. The worst part? My older brother, who used to be my best friend, became a stranger. The things he did, the things he said, I couldn't even bring myself to talk about it. The pain still stings. Had I been stronger, had I been bigger, I would have stood up to him. But I wasn't, so I just took it. And then, I did what I thought would be the final blow. I got a second DNA test. Maybe I had been wrong all along. And just like that, turns out the first test was a mistake. I was my dad's kid after all. But I wasn't rushing into forgiveness. Nope. Dad wanted back in my life, and so did my brother. They called, tried to patch things up, but I just couldn't. I didn't want them in my life. Why should I let them back in now? After everything? Mom forgave them, which made me feel sick to my stomach. She's dating my dad again, and I'm over here feeling like the only sane one in this entire messed up story. But that's not my business, right? Everyone around me kept saying I should hear them out, give them a chance, or I'd regret it. They said it was just because I was a teen, that I didn't understand what family meant. But no, I understood perfectly. I didn't trust them. I didn't want to. So, when I stood my ground and refused to talk to them, people just kept on saying I was crazy. Grandpa, though, he had my back, always. He didn't just say it, he did something about it. He hired a lawyer, and now, we're looking into settling things. But me? I've made up my mind. I don't need these people in my life. I don't need their apologies or their explanations. What really hit me, though, was Grandpa's wisdom. He told me not to decide how I'd feel later. How could I know how I'd feel in the future? I had to go with what I felt now, what was real, right now. Right now, I don't trust them. I think they're just reaching out for optics, for money. Maybe I'll change my mind later, but I won't apologize for what I feel now. I won't let anyone make me feel bad about it. If my feelings change, I'll deal with it then. I wasn't even going to update anyone. The story felt done. But then something happened yesterday, something that reminded me why I've made the choices I have. I'm about to move to a new city, and I decided to change my number. Only Grandpa has the new one. I know he won't share it. He's a retired cop, after all, and he's not having any of the nonsense. But of course, my mom showed up at his house, trying to get to me. Grandpa didn't let her in. He told her if anyone wanted to reach me, they'd have to go through him. And oh boy, she lost it. She screamed at him, saying it was none of his business, that this was between me and my dad. Grandpa, cool as ever, told her if anyone showed up on his lawn again, he'd get the cops, a restraining order, and maybe even a shotgun. That's when she really snapped, trying to guilt-trip him by saying he was pushing everyone away, tearing the family apart. And that's when Grandpa just laughed. He told her, the family blew up a long time ago. Everyone grabbed a piece and ran. You lost your piece, and now it's mine. And when he said that, I broke. Because, for the first time, I realized he was right. He wasn't just talking about the family that left me behind, he was talking about me. I was his piece, and he wasn't letting go. I hugged him so tight after that, like my life depended on it. He just looked at me and said, enough now. No need for tears. You're my family. And family doesn't leave you. Remember that when you have one of your own. As for my siblings, my older brother, let's just say he wasn't the person I thought he was. He stole from me, lied to me, wrecked relationships I thought would last. I don't regret cutting them out. Not one bit. So, yeah, that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. It's unbelievable, but here we are, 4 years later, trying to piece everything together. I'd always trusted my family, my friends, even a girlfriend I thought I cared about. But let me tell you, the betrayal from my older brother was one of the hardest hits to swallow. He was a bully for years, pushing me around, making life hell. There was even that one time he hit me. Yeah, you heard me right. Mom said, he's going through a lot too, and Dad? Well, Dad couldn't care less. He was too busy protecting him, as if everything my brother did was justified. But Grandpa wasn't having it. When he found out, he told my brother that if he ever laid a hand on me again, he'd break his teeth. You could see the fear in my brother's eyes. He believed him. And after that, I never had to worry about that again. Now, my younger brother? He's a different story, a much cooler guy. But, honestly, I'd rather not bring him into this mess. There's enough chaos already. So, update, Grandpa was reading the comments after my first post. He didn't even know what OG meant, so I had to explain it to him. Now he's all excited about watching Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I swear, it was hilarious. He's totally getting into it. He said the internet is smart, which, honestly, he's not wrong. Some of the replies on my post had him feeling all emotional. One comment in particular, comparing him to Clint Eastwood, made his day. Honestly, that made me laugh too. So, thank you for the love, he's loving the support, really. But here's where things get wild. You won't believe this. You just won't. Remember the DNA test? The one that turned my life upside down? Well, turns out the lab made a huge mistake. Can you believe that? I am my dad's biological son, but, plot twist, my older brother isn't. And it's not even a joke. He looks like my dad, exactly like him. So yeah, Mom has a type, I guess. Apparently, they mixed up the lab results, and I'm the real deal. So my brother's results had my name on them, and he's been called out on it. Now, he's triple-checking everything, sending it to another lab. But here's the kicker, the settlement has a confidentiality clause, so I'm keeping my lips sealed about the details. You'll never hear about this again. But still, can you imagine? I'm laughing, but also, I can't, because karma, right? Karma's real. Now, for something a little lighter, story time. What's the craziest thing you've seen at Walmart? Because I saw something that took the cake. Picture this, a dwarf security guard, well, maybe more like a guy with a growth disability, was about to launch into action. He was probably 4 feet 10 inches at most, but don't let that fool you. This guy was yoked, seriously built. And the scene? The scene was a disaster. There was this older guy, in a Hawaiian shirt, trying to steal $600 worth of steaks. He did this all the time, filling a cart, acting like he was going to pay, then making a break for it. Security was on him, but the guy was already trying to make his getaway. The head of security, this big guy who looked like he couldn't bench anything, but actually could bench anything, tried to calm the situation down. But no, this steak thief was about to make a run for it. Then, out of nowhere, Eric, or Josh, as I found out later, leaps into action. The dude looked like he was straight out of a comic book. I swear I heard the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme music playing as he flew through the air. He nailed that guy in the chest with both feet, sending him straight down. And then? Eric started throwing punches, like a little wind-up toy going off. The security guard, the chill one, was yelling, "Eric, no." But the damage was done. Well, needless to say, Eric got fired. Walmart got sued. And to be honest, they probably should have just let the guy run off with the stakes. It would have been less of a show. But honestly, it was one heck of a spectacle. But here's the kicker. I just found out that Eric's real name was Josh. And get this, he's a registered sex offender who was recently arrested for showing up to an elementary school dressed as an elf. Yeah, you heard that right. Life, man. Life is weird.